till the dais is getting ready, let me introduce the topic. So it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all for this session, the panel discussion on business automation. This is the need for the hour. And in an era where the efficiency, accuracy, and agility is the need for any business development, automation can't be a luxury. It's a necessity. And for this, we are having a panel discussion now, which comprises of, let me call the speakers. CA Manisha Sharaf. May I call you on the dais, please? Give her a round of applause. Then CA Dipak Rakhecha. Sir, please. Mr. Surya Agarwal, and moderator for the session, CA Sumit Bihani. So now I would like to call CA Arun Agarwal ji to felicitate CA Manisha Sharaf with Uttorio and the memento. Sir. CA Manisha Sharaf is a co-founder and CRO at SuperProcure, a leading cloud-based SaaS platform that digitalizes and automates logistic operations for manufacturing enterprise. Her brief profile is at the back of the screen. Yeah.
People who don't know, he's my elder brother and he and his...
Next, I would like to call Anup Luharuka, CA Anup Luharuka, to felicitate CA Dipak Rakhecha with Uttorio and the memento. Academically a chartered accountant, Dipak, founder, director of Infocus Technology Private Limited, is a thoroughbred SAP professional. His profile is also displayed on the screen. I would like to call CA Basant Somani to felicitate Surya Agarwal. So this is a special moment to felicitate Surya Agarwal because he was my student also. Today we will be on the dais together. So it's a proud moment for me even. So Surya academically equipped with PGDM in marketing from International Management Institute, Kolkata, and he is attached with Kanchan Group and Doctor's Choice brand. His profile is also displayed on the screen. Last but not least, moderator of the session, CA Sumit Bihani. So I would like to call Sri Kasi Prasad ji Khandelwal, sir, to please felicitate Sumit Bihani ji. CA Sumit Bihani is a practicing chartered accountant and is a partner at MBRM and Associates. He is working as a partner of MBRM and Associates from 2014. His profile is also on the screen. So with the great opportunity comes important questions. So we are having the expert panel to answer all those. So now I hand over the session to CA Sumit Bihani to take it forward.
Hello. Good afternoon to all, and welcome to this digital conference. So when we are talking about technology, we have to talk about solutions. And who better than we can have two people from people from the service background who can help you deliver solutions, and one person to vouch our credential who is from the industry. So I thank all of you for making to the session. And as we start, so first of all, let's do an icebreaker with a small introduction of all the speakers, and then we'll take the panel discussion from there. So let's start with Manisha ji.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So, people who don't know, I started my career as a chartered accountant. And while doing that, I found that lot of time we don't have answers to what we want because lot of things were done manually. And during this process, like we found out that okay, logistics is one place where most of the things are still done manually. That is where the existence of Super Procure came from. And that's what we digitize, the complete transportation for every organization. And we do have more than 250 credible names pan-India which are working on the platform, which might use like, I'll say companies like ITC, PepsiCo, Havels, Arcelor and Mittal, all of them are running on our platform, their transportation services. So that's what we do.
Hello. Thank you, Manisha ji. So I would next request Dipak ji to please introduce himself briefly.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Sumit ji. My name is Dipak Rakhecha, and I'm a chartered accountant of 1998. I started my career with BOC, ITC, and Deloitte. Luckily, I was good enough opportunity to work on SAP, and I had helped these organizations to implement SAP. In 2007, we started this company called Infocus Technologies, which is exclusively working on SAP implementation. So we help our clients to implement SAP, optimize the SAP solutions, and currently we are around 300 odd organization-based, employees-based organization, based out of Calcutta, Pune, and Dubai. So this is in brief about me and my organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I would now request Surya ji to please briefly introduce. And I've been told that you have recently implemented ERP and solutions at your office.
Thank you. Thank you, ACE, for giving us this opportunity. And I would like to tell everyone that it's been a pleasure hearing to the speakers who were there before me, and they have set an excellent ground for this event. This automation is not a destination, it's a journey. And I'm sure anyone who has been in it for some time would agree with me, because every time you do an automation, there is a possibility to do something else, a possibility to do something more. When we look at automation, we are always asking about how we can do it and how much it would cost. And chartered accountant in the room would agree that cost is the first thing that comes to mind whenever we are implementing technology. So I'm Surya Agarwal from Bajaj Refineries Limited, and we are an FMCG company. We have been doing the edible oil refining under Doctor's Choice brand and various other brands for more than 30 years. And we are into soybean oil, mustard oil, rice bran oil, sunflower oil, various types of oils. And during a journey, we have seen that there was a time when there were people sitting under a tap, manually filling the oil bottles. And today, the stage is where you cannot touch a bottle. You just feed all the things that are required. And from the plastic and oil, you get a carton that is fully sealed. And even the weights are checked, the quality can be checked online, everything can be done online. And this journey has been helped by all the technology partners. I'll also say Infocus was one of the partners we had discussed with. And there was a time when I had met Mr. Rakhecha. I did not even know what automation was. And today, we are on the other side of the table where people are asking us how we automate it. This journey has been really enthralling, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot from our panel speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, sir spoke about journey. So, if we speak about a journey of transaction to transformation, correct? So digital transformation, process automations are one of the key ingredients to business efficiency. So I would request or I'll ask all my panelists, one is what are the impact these transformations are creating to the businesses? And when we speak about impact, there's always has to be a challenge because assets and liability, elsewise the balance sheet would not tally. So one is impact, second is challenge, and how have they been able to mitigate these challenges in their respective way of implementing these solutions? So we'll start with ma'am.
So I'll talk of the challenges first. So for us, like what we have to do is we have to go to organizations, we have to explain that this is what we do. And the next question is like, what will it change? And will my people be able to adapt to it? So I think the biggest challenge that we face is a little uncertainty, like we had so many questions that, okay, I'm open to use chat GPT and AI, but like, will it be beneficial? Will it be harmful? Whether I'll go out of business because this technology is coming in. So that fear is there. I think that is one thing we have to cater to. The second thing is lot of people think that I'll not be able to adapt to it, or I'll have to go through a very big transformation to be able to adopt that technology. I think that fear is the first thing that we have to overcome. And when it comes to transaction to transformation, so what these tools have started doing is, I'll not say that when we meet people, they have reached to the level they have without having a proper, like I'll say, there is something they have learned. We call it generative AI, but over a period of time, they have also learned how to handle, how to do their business better. Because I deal with transportation, I have not seen there's a playbook or a rule book where people tell you how to transport things, whether you should have a HubSpot model or what you have. But they have understood what is best for their business and they have adopted to it. Okay, so these were transactions where the people have started doing it. And when we talk of transformation, it is about feeding all of that into a tool or a automation engine where I might be good at something, someone else might be good at something, and getting all of this good in one place and designing a complete flow that, okay, this is how it should be done. And a person from the top level till the base of the complete tire is being able to follow it, and I can measure what is happening. So that is where this transaction actually converts into that transformation that we are looking at, and it works best for everyone who is associated with it. For the economy, for the company, for everyone, I think. Thanks.
Deepak ji would request your views on this.
Yeah, I think I go in line with what Manisha ji was saying. In my experience of when helping our clients to do a digital transformation, few of the differences what we have found that challenges or what we have found is change management. Specifically when an automotive tool comes in, there's a lot of threat within the internal organization that my job would be lost, mera naukri chala jayega. And with this repercussion, what happens, wrong information about the tool goes to the top management, and when that wrong information goes in, wrong decisions are taken. So change management is one of the most important factor within an organization which is going for a digitization drive. To address that change management, the users have to be communicated properly from the top management that how is it going to help them out. Second is the data. The data within the organization is need to be synchronized, need to be updated properly, because as we have all understood, it's garbage in, garbage out. So in a digitization, if your data which is within the system, it could be the factory data, it could be transaction data, it could be finance data. All of this data has to be streamlined and as per the current business requirement and as per the new technology. So whatever that you feed into your digitization transformation software which you are going to use, it will give the result accordingly. Third, we have been dealing mainly with the mid-sized organizations. The business processes are not oriented. They follow the typical processes which may not be in line with what is currently happening. So redefining those business processes and adapting to that change of the business process is also one of the challenges which we have found. Now, if these few of the things are implemented properly and addressed properly, the digitization journey becomes more rewardful and more the ROI calculations for that investment which the owner is doing becomes much more easier. That's my take on digitization journey. And the benefits, I'm sure, because of automation, it helps in, reducing inefficiencies, reducing the incorrect data, getting an online data at any given point of time. So these are few of the benefits what we have helped our clients to enable when they are into digitization journey. That's all.
Thank you so much, sir. So request Surya ji. So it's other side of the table. So they have been speaking or advocating the benefits or challenges, and you have actually witnessed those. So would request your views on this.
Sure. Regarding the challenges, when we started implementing the ERP, one of the biggest challenges was getting the people trained in that. And training needs to be in such a manner that they feel that it is required for them. It is not something that you are getting it done at a gunpoint. You have to make it fun. And with AI on the dashboard right now, you can do that. You can make your training documents fun. You can gamify it so that every time they learn something, they can earn points. If you can do that, then you can make it really interesting for them, and they'll themselves ask more questions. You'll have to encourage them. Often we have seen that team members have fear that if they ask something, it will not be taken in the right spirit. In such situations, the owners themselves should sit with the business team members and ask questions. They should see that asking questions is fine, because often we have not been shown that. Coming to the other challenges, I would say that it can be taken care of by understanding what are the challenges your team members are facing. For example, they may be burdened with existing work, and if you ask them to give time for something else. In our case, we saw that while they were doing their usual entries on Tally, they were also going through the financial audit, and after that, they were expected to learn SAP. Now, you have done one work, you have done another work, and this is the third thing that is being given to you. How can you make it fun? I asked one CIO, a peer, he said, you throw them a pizza party. And even that can help. These are small actions, but they can be really motivating. Sometimes you have to motivate them to come on days that usually they cannot come on. For example, on holidays also, sometimes they have to come, but for that, you really need to incentivize them, motivate them. Otherwise, your project might be looking towards a total failure. The other challenges are requirement gathering. Truly understanding what is required for your business and what is required for the team of your size can be a challenge. You want to implement 10 different processes, but you have just one person doing that. Can you implement them? No. Sometimes you have to spend on building teams who will do the right job. And that has to be taken into consideration before you jump into implementation of an ERP. These has been my learnings when I started implementing the SAP. And after a while, we have seen a situation where people who were afraid of it, they said, we'll not do it without SAP. That's been the transformation we have seen. They are asking themselves, this needs to be automated, that needs to be automated. And that is a moment of pride for me, that this is something that would make their life easy. Yesterday, last night only, for some reason, the email stopped working. Earlier, they were sending all the emails manually. But for some reason, from SAP, the email stopped going. It has been resolved today, and they came and said, thank God, the emails are going. But can you imagine sending mails to thousands of customers manually, without automation, without rules in place, without validations? It would be a total chaos and nightmare. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So one thing I liked about all these three people where they first talk about challenges. So, probably this is how business owners think. And they spoke about, sir, all of them spoke about people, process and technology, correct? So we are into an era, even sir spoke about Gen Z, I presume, ki gamifying of stuff or generative AI. So in this generation, they want demo. जो 3 Idiots में बोलते हैं ना कि demo दिखाऊं. So, and I presume all of us would also want to see demo. So, though seeing demo is not possible sitting here, but there is an alternative option on the other side of the hall. But I would request all of these 3 panelists to please share one use case or one demo or one life experience which they have faced in, you know, implementation of technology, because ma'am deals with a sector which is majorly unorganized. People are not probably that, equipped. Sir deals with a sector which is much more equipped, and people need to elevate from one stand, from a tally kind of stuff to an ERP kind of stuff. So I would like to, request you to briefly touch about these stuffs.
What I'll take up is I'll take up a very, very small use case which might look that it's very simple, but how the logistics manager gets really threatened by it. So we all know that we are all, like most of us are chartered accountants, and audit of logistics is something almost a cement company or a steel company which must be having 100-200 crore of logistics spent. We do have to look at, because it's a major expense that they are doing. So this organization came to us and they said that, Manisha, mostly we do contracts with our transporters, but lot of time when the market rates are higher, we have to pick up material or we have to ask transporters offline, and we have to take the rates and we have to place the vehicles. For them, it is a very normal thing that, okay, why the contracted transporter is not placing the vehicle, because the market rate is higher and he doesn't want to place at a 2,000 rupees per metric ton, which was agreed with him, while the market rate is 2,400. He places the vehicle at 2,400. Now the auditor comes, just in an Excel sheet, he just types something, ki, okay, just show me the transaction where the rates are abnormal or they are higher, because that is what I want to audit, that is out of the normal course of action. And he tells me कि मैम ये तो इतना सिंपल बात है, मार्केट में इस रेट पे नहीं मिल रहा था, तभी तो ज़्यादा रेट में गाड़ी लगी. He has actually done phone calls, he has actually written in on his diary, but after 6 months when an auditor comes, it becomes very difficult for him to justify that he has spoken to 4 people, he has found out that this is a market rate, and sending the vehicle was his KPI at that point of time, which he has adhered to. Now, looks very simple, but I think it was a very, very major steel company. I'll not name the company, but what we did in our software is simply that, okay, it's a flow where from the system it will actually go to the contracted transporter. In case it declines that I'll not place the vehicle, that is where it would be made open to the 4-5 transporters or the 10 transporters that you work with. Let the rates come in the system and you confirm it on that platform. And this simple audit trail is something which changed everything for that logistics manager. He said, ki, now I'm not scared of an logistics audit. So that's the kind of use cases that we have been solving and getting a lot of appreciation, getting a lot of ROI on the placement side and price side of what they are being able to place vehicles for. I think we don't have time, but we have a lot of such use cases that keeps coming on a daily basis. So this Haldiram ka, we all are aware, Haldiram is our client. Like, so when this Noida and Nagpur merger happened, you all understand that there are so many other GSTs they might be having. It's not easy to actually merge 2 entities. And he is from the SAP background, he understands that. So we were integrated with their SAPs when they were individual companies. And when they merged, we were like, our team was actually working day and night to make that thing happen. And then we received an appreciation email from them. Ki even during this merger, our logistics was not hampered. Like, you all handled it so well, and it's a gratitude email that we get in the morning. So that are the kind of use cases that we solve on a daily basis.
Thank you so much. And even if you want to see the use cases, there is an experience zone where you can see the use cases. I move to Dipak, sir.
Yeah, so I'll try to cite one case for one of our customer, which was on EPC. So उनके यहाँ पे उनके पूरे across India locations spread out थे, and where the users were, not literate and ground level पे काम कर रहे हैं, EPC काम कर रहे हैं. Vendor invoices and everything used to come to them, and vendor के invoices पहुँचते एक डेढ़ महीना late हो जाते थे, and उनके payment delay हो जाते थे, and the vendor used to get frustrated, and In the process, क्या होता था, they were not able to deliver it properly and material used to, so there were a lot of project delays and everything which was happening to this particular client. So what we had advised to this particular client is centralize their this entire procurement billing function. So उनके पास ग्राउंड लेवल पे सारे इन्वॉइसेस स्कैन होके सेंट्रली एचओ में आ जाते थे एंड वहाँ पे ओसीआर टेक्नोलॉजी से लेके वो इन्वॉइसेस स्कैन होके एसएपी के सिस्टम में आ जाते थे ऑटोमेटिकली एंड ये सारा मेल्स के थ्रू होता था एंड ऑटोमेटिकली मेल में वो बॉट लगा हुआ रहता था जिससे कि वो रीड करके वो इन्वॉइस प्रोसेसिंग ऑटोमेटिकली फाइंड आउट कर लेता था सिस्टम में कौन सा परचेज ऑर्डर है कौन से जीआरएन के अगेंस्ट में एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वो पेमेंट के लिए प्रोसेस में छोड़ देता था. सो एक 3-वे मैच भी हो जाता था, फुल ऑडिट फ्लो भी हो जाता था एंड इसमें द वेंडर के पेमेंट्स केम डाउन फ्रॉम मोर देन 45 to 2 months, इट केम डाउन टू 15 days. सो ओवरऑल एफिशिएंसी इसमें काफ़ी बढ़ गया था. देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ satisfaction at the vendor level because these vendors were mostly international vendors. And with this bot, you know, they were able to recognize the various feeds, various invoices from various vendors. And that rule was built up in the SAP system automatically to put the invoices in the system. And uske baad fir, since all this was automatic, there was some exception rule in terms of where the invoices format was not identified, that used to go an exception. But overall 95% of the entire technology of bill processing system was automated. And this reduced the vendor payment and there was an increased efficiency and satisfaction level at the vendor level. So this has helped and this is one of the example what we have done, you know, with one of our clients, which has helped up overall. Similarly for this client, we had helped them into an automatic BRS from various banks. So they had around 15 banks. The bank statements were coming and, you know, there was a person who used to do a manual activity of logging into system, getting the download of the statement and doing the bank reconciliation with the system. So we had automated this entire process by, again, you know, the same technology of automation in SAP, which did the BRS, and in the morning that bank reconciliation person used to get a statement and summary that 10 bank statements have been reconciled, out of which one has not been reconciled, or one item has not been reconciled because of these items. And he had to just go by an exception, and his job used to get completed by within 10 minutes, which he used to spend almost a day for every day. So these are few examples. There are a lot of such cases which we have helped out customers. I think Surya ji must have done similar thing also. But I think if we can use the technology, there's a lot of automation which can be done, which can help the team and the organizations to get the benefit of the resources which are in crunch at this point of time.
Thank you. So, Surya, what have changed? Any use case which you have been able to implement?
At present, we are working on banking integration. So basically, we are integrating 3 banks with our ERP so that their payments of the customers, they come directly into the ERP instead of somebody doing a manual entry for it. So once it is done, our team members will be freed and the accuracy of the entries will go up. You can imagine somebody entering into the wrong customer's account and then later on there will be complaints from the other customer that why are you not giving me the credit. So it is very important for your team to be free from the process so that they can think ahead, they can look into checking things instead of doing the manual laborious tasks. You want to ease their life so that they can focus on training and growth rather than becoming machines themselves.
Thank you so much. So in this, we all are talking about automation everywhere. We have been discussing this. So one small question, and I understand we are approaching lunch, so let's quickly answer. What not to automate? And you all spoke about ROIs, right? So what not to automate, or how do you see before automation the ROIs?
So, see, the ROI is, I think, like opportunity cost is something that we actually look for when we are looking for an ROI. So, definitely now that so much of automation and digitization is there in place, like how much we should automate is a question. And I think one thing I wanted to mention earlier, but I missed is, that when we talk of digitization, people think that it is mainly for very large organizations. And during our interactions with team, what we found out is that there were few very small companies which were giving the highest per vehicle rate to us, and we went to understand why it is that. And we understood that a mid-sized company doesn't have a logistics team or a accounts team and all of that. Most of the time, the director himself is doing lot of such stuff, that when an invoice is coming, he is checking that invoice himself. So those are the people for whom the ROI was the maximum, because it was the director or the owner's son who was doing lot of activities which we are automating. So for them, they were the ones who paid us the highest, if I talk of like automation, because the ROI for them was the highest versus a 15,000 logistics team person and this person who is himself calling and trying to place the transporters. We have seen that kind of transactions as well. And the cost, I think cost that you are paying for the digitization, and when we are being able to explain to the customer or the client that, okay, this is what you pay for it and this is what you get in return. So I think most of the answers come in there itself. And so for us, it is very simple kind of an Excel sheet that this is how you pay us. This is what we have found the inefficiency. This is what we promised to deliver. And that is how the ROI calculation is done by us in most of the cases when we onboard a client.
Thank you so much. So Deepak ji, what not to automate or what to automate or the ROIs?
सुमित जी बहुत गलत क्वेश्चन पूछा आपने. हम कंसल्टेंट, हम कभी एडवाइज ही नहीं करेंगे, हम तो बोलेंगे सब ऑटोमेट कीजिए. एनीवेज, जोक्स अपार्ट, एज एन एडवाइजर टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, वी हेल्प आवर कस्टमर्स, बिकॉज व्हेन दे इम्प्लीमेंट और बाय एसएपी, उन्होंने बहुत बड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट कर चुका है, उनको तो सब कुछ ऑटोमेट चाहिए. एमडी की जो है वो बाबू को तो सब कुछ ऑटोमेट चाहिए. But that is where the challenge comes, and that is where we advise. So typically what key factors what we try to identify and convince the owners is, those transactions which are not on regular basis, or those transactions which are on high risk area, meaning if there is a failure, the risk to the business is very high. Those are the areas where we advise to the management that not to automate. That is one. Second is an area where the processes are not streamlined in the organization, and that cannot be streamlined. So, and that process needs a lot of iterations and a lot of human interventions. So those processes we try to avoid, to automate in entirety, because that would cause a lot of chaos within the organizations, a lot of delusionment in the organization, and which actually will give a wrong feedback that the ERP is not working. So overall, that does not help out in an automation. And thirdly, obviously, the ROI calculation. There are a lot of automations which are very fancy, which looks very good, and but when you calculate the ROI in terms of the investment, what you're making on that automation being done, and the return or the cost, what you're trying to save, or the benefit what you are getting, if that does not match up, obviously that does not get automated. So these are the 2-3 criteria which we try to convince the management. It's difficult because for the management, हमने तो SAP लगा लिया है, हमको सब कुछ automate, मेरा तो उठते ही I need everything on the click of a button. But having said that, there are a lot of things, as I said, these criteria which we evaluate and then propose for an automation and or a non-automation. Yeah.
थैंक यू. तो सूर्या जी, अब तो आपने SAP लगा लिया है, अब सब कुछ ऑटोमेट कर दीजिए. सो ये जब रिक्वेस्ट आती है सर इसको भी ऑटोमेट कर दे, उसको भी कर दें, तो हाउ डू यू डील विद दीज काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशंस?
Before that, I'll share 2 cases that are food for thought for anybody trying to automate anything. One was, before COVID, we used to have 3 manufacturing lines for tin containers, which were semi-automatic. A lot of laborers were required for that process. When COVID came, we needed one automatic line because you knew that the workforce couldn't come. At that time, the ROI was put on the shelf. Because if there is nobody doing it, then the question of ROI does not even arise. So that helped us give a push to automate some of the processes that were not initially seeming feasible. Number 1. Number 2, I would ask you to think about a very basic process. You go to a washroom, there is a tap. And if it is having an automatic sensor for releasing water, there can be two types of malfunctions. Either it has malfunction, it is leading to water loss the entire day, or it has malfunction in such a manner that it is not giving water at all. In both the cases, you can understand the kind of loss. There are things that you can have manual intervention with that. You was talking about SAP. When we started off with SAP, we talked about the automation in e-invoice. In that, what happened was the system started generating IRN on its own because it was given the permission to do so. At that time, we went in for a manual intervention and for a mass release. So that allowed the team members to select all the transactions in one go and then allow it instead of the system going for automation on its own. So there are specific areas where you have to look, where you need manual intervention of some sort to make sure that you are also in control apart from the system, not just the system itself.
Thank you. So one quick question before we end, and probably two. So one quick one-liner from both my panelists on the left and right, that from a journey from a chartered accountant to this, what was the eureka moment for both of you? I'd just like to understand, or people would like to know that how do they venture, or what was the eureka moment which has led to this role as such?
For me, the Eureka movement was like, ultimately, I could be a part of something which is independent of me. Because when I was servicing as a chartered accountant, any of the clients that I had, they would not be happy speaking to anyone except me. You send them anyone from your team, but they'll say, Manisha, kyun nahi aayi? So that is one thing which has changed for me, and I'm very, very happy about it.
Correct. So, Deepak sir, about you?
So for me, after completing my CA, I was in job with BOC, Oxygen House, if you must be knowing about it. So I was posted in Bombay, Tarapur, Taloja, and my boss said, Calcutta aana hai. So I was in finance at that point of time. So I was like, why not? Ekdam aankh band karke. And that is where I landed up into SAP. And after that, have been helping my clients, implementing SAP and everything. And for me, the eureka moment comes when an owner says that मेरा इतना savings हो गया and इस कारण से मेरे processes में improvement हो गया है, and I'm able to sleep up nicely and I'm able to take the decision from the information what is coming up. I don't need to ask my chaprasi or I don't need to ask my gatekeeper कि क्या हो रहा है gate में बताओ मेरे को. So that is where I feel the benefit of the service which I have provided him, that he is able to have a good sleep when he goes back home.
Thank you, sir. So my last question before we conclude. So, and this is an AI era. So I will fail my duty if I don't ask this. That what is the future outlook of AI in this segment? Predictive insights, decision automation. How do you see this coming in future?
There's a lot of predictivity and analysis this AI is doing. So, like I'll say, one use case where we have used a lot of AI is where the material is actually getting delivered. So that is where your consumer is sitting, or that is where ultimately your material is consumed. So that is one, I'll say, AI use case which lot of our clients use just to understand who their actual consumer is.
Thank you.
And
Deepak ji?
I think the way technology is changing and the way AI is coming in, I'm sure all of us must have seen, things are getting automated at a very fast pace. You are going to see factories in a night out factories or without light factories, meaning all the robots are managing the manufacturing processes without lights. So that is the change which is coming up, and the way mind integration is happening up. Today we were seeing examples of, we are talking to ChatGPT. I don't think so situation is going to come very fast where we are just going to think and things are going to happen. We don't even need to talk, we just think and it will happen. That is where the direction is going on, and it's going to come up very fast. So I think we all, as a practicing chartered accountant, or have to adapt to this to get the maximum out of it. And the options are available. It's only the step which we need to take up. That's it from my side.
Thank you, sir. So, Surya ji, when sir was speaking, you were thinking and smiling. So, up to you.
So he was talking about the factories that are not having lights or workers. So I was recently seeing a factory in China which is called dark factory because it's literally dark. Because robots don't need lights to work. They have been given the instruction where to move. And you have now 6-axis robots where you just pull the robot's hand and it gets programmed automatically. So we have reached that stage. And that is something which makes us think we can change our processes still for the better.
Thank you so much. So, the factory was dark, but our futures are very bright. So, let's break for lunch, and post lunch, we'll have wonderful sessions. There are parallel sessions on the other side, and there's an experience zone. We would request all of you to please, see the entire program. And I hand over my concluding remarks to Manish Bhai. And thank you for being a wonderful audience.
Thank you,
so
panel.
much.